Hello, everyone. So, I just wanted to share with you all a quick story. This is something that happened to me and I oversaw. And at the end of the story, I would love to tell y'all what I took from the experience and what I feel like many of us should take from this experience and this story I'm about to share with you. It's a very quick one. So, as many may know, I've worked in restaurants for a very, very long time. Well over a decade, going on two. In my time in the restaurant industry, I've observed a lot of people and I've had a lot of interactions with a lot of customers. Now, this one story I'm about to share, this is not an isolated incident. I have seen this many times throughout my years in the industry, but I'm going to speak specifically of this story because I remember it very vividly and it definitely was impactful on me. So, here we go. So, one day I was serving this couple, an older couple, white couple. Details, they're not really important, but to me, they kind of matter. So, I'm serving this elderly white couple. If I remember correctly, I believe the gentleman was in a wheelchair. I really don't remember, but I do mainly remember how they interacted with one another. The way this couple talked to one another really left a lasting impact on me. So, to start, the woman was not very kind to me. She wasn't very friendly. She wasn't very nice. I feel like maybe she was frustrated. It's starting to come back to me. She was in a wheelchair, not him. So, this woman, she wasn't very friendly to me, but she definitely wasn't the rudest. She was just kind of snappy, and you know how some elderly people are just kind of on the grumpier side. No problem. I'm a professional. I'm very accustomed to dealing with all types of attitude. Didn't faze me one bit. Long story short, the way she was speaking to me, I could tell her husband did not like. Regardless, when it was his turn to speak, he was very rude, aggressive, and abrasive to her. I could not believe some of the things that were coming out of his mouth. And when I say I couldn't believe, I could really believe. What I'm saying is he was not talking to her very kindly. He was very snappy, very aggressive, had a huge attitude. The type of way that he was talking to that woman, many women that look like me would have not been able to handle. But the point of the story is it's not about how he was speaking. The moral of the story is how she handled the situation. She did not flinch. She did not get an attitude. That woman shut her mouth. She did not say one word. When he was getting snappy with her about how she was talking to me, and then how he was talking and getting on her about how she didn't know what she wanted to order. Basically, the whole jits of the interaction was she was being nasty to me and he was in turn being nasty to her for her being having an attitude with me but not knowing what she wanted. So he was calling her names and basically putting her down and just being his way with her because she was being her way with me. And maybe he's that way all the time towards her. I don't know. It's just his energy shifted when he saw how she was interacting with me and seeing how I was unfazed and I was still being sweet as pie to them. You could just tell he didn't like it. The point was, no matter what he said to her, he was yelling at her. He was literally letting her have it. She shut her mouth. She did not get an attitude. She did not say, "Why are you talking to me like that?" She did nothing. She closed her mouth. She got in line. And after that, she was a straight up angel to me the rest of the dining experience. That's just what it was. And this is not the first time that I've seen this, but this story stuck out to me, and this incident always stuck in my mind. This happened a little while back, but this year. And I'll never forget it because I was just so amazed at how she handled it. Um, and the lesson of that story is, and the reason why I wanted to share that with you all, is because we as women sometimes just need to shut the heck up. Shut up. Shut your mouth. Literally. It it was just so beautiful to see her take all that stuff and have the grace and wisdom enough to not get an attitude back and not respond and not match energy, to take her scolding in peace and get in line the way we would want someone of class to do. There's so much power in our silence. Life is so much easier. I am almost positive that for the rest of the day, her day was fine. Her day went on as normal. But the point is, if she would have matched energy and got an attitude about how he was speaking to her, now it would have became a bigger deal than what it was. Because guess what? Because of her silence, he calmed down. He was fine. They had a great rest of the dinner. He went back to being the great, sweet, nice guy that he was towards me the whole time towards her. He just had to get her in line because she was misbehaving. She was acting a fool towards me. And I was thankful to him for basically having my back. But I was more so thankful the fact that she had the wisdom and the fortitude and the self discipline and self control to not get unhinged, to where then it became a bigger problem for not just him, herself, but also me. Because I've served a lot of couples in my time. I've waited on, I've bartended, I've worked hotels, just everything. I've accommodated many couples. And unfortunately, what happens so many times is that when the woman is in the wrong and the man basically reprimands her or has an attitude or something, and she matches energy because she feels disrespected because he called her out on her nonsense, then it turns into an argument and or tension that then leads into me getting a bad tip, me having to deal with a bad attitude or bad energy for the rest of the interaction. But because she handled it so well, because she was a woman that knew, hey, I acted up, my husband got me in line, and now instead of acting like I know better, acting like I'm better than, acting like I wasn't in the wrong, I'm going to show out. She didn't do that. She held her own self accountability and said to herself, I'm guessing, you know what? He's right. And she got in line and she respected her husband to shut up, shut her freaking mouth. It was so beautiful to see. And every time I see it, which is rare, but it does happen, and it a lot of time happens with the older white couples, it's just amazing and I love it because when I see when I serve and deal with a lot of younger couples, like I said, whenever I deal with women being nasty to me all the time in front of their boyfriends, and their boyfriends, they don't handle it that way. So then there's contention for the rest of the time. And it's all because they think that they're right. Women think that they are entitled to behave the way that they behave, and nobody's supposed to correct them. Nobody's supposed to reprimand them or have anything to say or hold them to any form of accountability for their crap. So then all of us have to suffer. So I really just wanted to share that story with y'all. It was so beautiful to me to see. And it's I can just speak even to my own life. All the times that I shut my mouth and I didn't fight and I didn't have to have the last word and I didn't feel like I needed to be right and I just let my man have it, everything was better for me. The argument ended, or the potential for the argument was done. Like it didn't proceed. It ended right there. I got my reprimanding. I took it in. I accepted it. If there was an apology to be made, I apologize. But if anything, I said, you're right, and I understand. And things just got better. It ended, as opposed to the times where when I was younger, I didn't behave that way and I didn't handle things that way. And I talked back and I fought and I tried to plead my case because I thought I was right. All of those times, it ended up just making things worse. All it does is make the argument go on longer and create bigger points of contention that are unnecessary. But you can avoid so much trouble in your life and in your relationship and in your just day-to-day interactions, especially with your partner, especially with men. When you just be quiet, it is not that serious to be right. Even if you feel you're right, I promise you a lot of times you're not right, but even if you feel that you are, you needing to get the last word and prove your point and feel like you won and feel big and bad, you're always going to come out the loser. You're going to lose. It is literally just like when we're children. We tell our kids not to talk back, don't have the last word, but then we grow up to be big adult women that literally act like children, that act like nobody can tell us anything about ourselves. We always got to say the last thing and make the last point and always get our point across and always be made to feel like we're right when so often we're wrong. And that story and those times that stories like that have happened to me, it always reminds me of that. And I just wanted to share that with you. I promise you, there is power in you shutting your mouth. Just shut up, shut up, shut up. I promise you, shutting up will keep you out of so much mess and so much unnecessary stress, destruction, turmoil, disagreements, arguments, just overall issues. You being right and you feeling like you made your point is not worth it. Shut your mouth.